Being a marketer's no sweat. You just have to manage dozens of channels, launch hundreds of campaigns, score thousands of leads, and okay, fine, it's a lot of sweat. Unless you have HubSpot's AI-powered marketing tools to help you do all that and more. Get started at HubSpot.com/marketers.
Pretty special to have Jamie present you with your 50th jersey. Did she whisper anything to you like, don't you dare and try and go for 52 or something like that?
Yeah, something like that. No, I didn't know that Jamie was coming to present the jerseys. I got really excited and a bit sentimental as well. It was really special for Jamie to present that. You know, the pandemic and some coach changing and some injuries. It's just taking me, obviously, a bit of time to hit 50. You know, hopefully, if I get the opportunity next year, maybe become the most capped Eagle. I won't be that for long. I think some of the girls are going to really start getting a lot of cap numbers under their belt and representing longer, which is really amazing to USA Rugby. And I think that's what, you know, is a bit of an honor to potentially hold that for a bit, but also very exciting to see how fast that can also get chased, because that's what you want within women's rugby, especially within the USA.
Welcome to US Rugby Happy Hour Live. Interviews with the biggest names in American rugby.
The New England Free Jacks, Major League Rugby champions. One-on-one to score.
Here are your hosts, Bill Baker and that other guy.
Hey everybody, welcome to the show. It is a special midday. Well, you know, it's funny saying that because thankfully we have listeners from all over, so midday really is just for you and me, Fitzy. Our guest is more of a early evening kind of thing, maybe a mid-morning for someone on the West Coast. So anyway, it's a day show. It's today's show. Thank you all for listening and tuning in. We got someone really special today. Only has a few caps for US Eagles. She's going to be good one day. Hope Rogers will be joining us in a little bit. And we'll definitely talk about a few of those caps. I'm excited, Fitzy. I'm really pumped for the show. We talked to her a couple years ago, and I can't wait to touch base again and talk more, see how she's feeling and all that. But some news just come out.
So Bill, she's got 50 caps for USA Women's Eagles. This would be her second cap for the US Rugby Happy Hour Live show. So she's got some work to do there.
We should get like a green jacket, like Augusta. Like anytime you get like a third appearance, you get a jacket. And you.
What budget is that coming from?
That's true. Let's another time. Sponsors. Yeah, anyway. Before we get to it, though, Fitzy, let's talk about the USA men's squad real quick. The traveling roster was announced yesterday. I'm going to tackle some of the overseas players, and I'm going to have you tackle some of the Major League Rugby players, which is pretty much the entire squad. Only 3 overseas active players on the active squad. That's Ruben De Haas with Toyota Cheetahs, Capella Pifale with Saracens in Premiership, and of course AJ McGinty Premiership as well. AJ is playing probably some of the best rugby I've ever seen him play. And that's early. There's only been 3 games so far, but he's playing outstanding. Also, we got David Anu'u not available, or actually, I'm sorry, on the reserves. The reserve list has a few more. David Anu'u, Nafi Ma'afu. It's good to see his name. He hasn't capped yet, but he hasn't played at all yet with Biarritz. So I wonder what's going on with him. And then Mike Suseni, for a guy popping up again. Great to see him in the mix again. I think he's still homeless as far as the club goes. And then Chris Hessenbach, also a reserve. And then unavailable, Renger van Aerten, who I believe is knocked up a bit. He hasn't appeared yet for his team over in Europe. And then Stefan Krimp is also unavailable, although he is playing quite a bit, probably due to school class load. And then Corbin Smith, not in the list. Not sure why we'll look into it. And then, of course, Toby Fricker, who just went on loan, maybe not on loan, but a short-term contract with Bristol Bears, AJ McGinty's team. I'm going to assume that the deal for that move was to be available during this time, of course. So that's what I have for the Eagles overseas. I mean, that's just the nature of the game. I've been losing people to cover, and thankfully we have plenty of the women playing over Premiership. But what caught your eye as far as the Major League Rugby players?
Yeah, I don't think there's I guess I'll start with like some new faces. New faces that I'm excited about with some MLR experience. Got to be Noah Brown, who doesn't have a cap yet. Exciting player. He was up for a Rookie of the Year, kind of that 7s, 15s. I think he brings some speed and athleticism, probably in that center wing area. So excited to see what Noah's going to bring. How about Mark O'Keefe? Speaking of the Chicago Hounds, and of course he's had a good career in MLR. Probably should be played outside center, but did stud. Excited to see him get his first opportunity for USA Men's Eagles. Of course, how about number 1 overall draft pick in the collegiate draft, Eric Storty? He's going to get an opportunity to earn his first cap for the Men's Eagles. But, there's a couple of players who aren't available. Sam Gall, of course. I'm not sure if he's injured or just needs some time off. Ben Bonasso, flanker, he is unavailable. Tommaso Boni, Bryce Campbell, Mika Cruz. So a couple of names not available, but excited for what's going to happen here in a couple of weeks in November.
Yeah, same here. And speaking to Scott Lawrence a couple of weeks ago, I did ask him about AJ McGinty and David Anu's status, and they are available, obviously, which has been announced here. AJ had another baby, and that was his priority after the summer series. I think some of us worried that the performance he had during that summer series wasn't up to snuff for him and for USA. He had a tough series, and he said no one took it harder than him. But he's back. I mean, he's determined. He's playing great, and I cannot wait to see him in a USA uniform guiding the team against the 3 opponents there in, next month. Yeah, really close. Yeah. All right, Fitzy, one last thing, listeners, please do us a favor, like, follow, and subscribe this show, whether you're on this live stream here on YouTube or Facebook, or if you're listening to the podcast replay, which drops on Thursdays after each show. Please, again, share with your friends, enemies alike. More and more people listen, the better. All right, well, enemies, it's okay. Rugby's a fun sport. Everyone's inclusive, including enemies. All right, let's do it. Let's get to our guest. Returning for her second appearance, and as you mentioned, possible, green jacket for her third appearance next time. Second appearance on the show 2 years ago. It's way too long. I cannot wait to talk to her. Let's welcome USA Eagle Hope Rogers. Hello, Hope.
Hello, how are you?
Well, good. How are you?
Yeah, I'm good. I'm a little bit jet lagged, but overall I'm doing all right.
I was going to say, I was talking to Taylor with USA Rugby. I was like, she's probably good for 9:30 Eastern time because she's probably still on like West Coast time. And
yeah, I know, it's odd. I feel so tired. It's like 6:30 now. I'm like, I could go to bed in an hour. So.
Wait, feel tired? You have 50 international caps. I wouldn't be able to get out of bed after 50 caps. How are you feeling with that? How are you? No, back up. Congratulations, by the way, on your 50th cap. That is amazing.
Thank you so much.
And okay, let's talk about that. How are you feeling? Your body? I mean, it's just again, that's a lot of really tough, especially this last WXV, some really physical matches.
Yeah.
How are you? How's your body holding up?
I'm old. I feel it. I feel every joint in my body is hollering. But yeah, no, they were amazing matches. Just the level of rugby across actually all the WXV1 matches and a lot of the WXV2 and 3 matches even was just really good quality matches for the women's game and for the sport in general. So that was obviously excited to be a part of and watch. But yeah, no, my body feels fine, to be fair. So just getting a bit of time to recover before I'm back in it next week. So,
well, let's talk about that 50th appearance there. Second, of course, only to U.S. Rugby Hall of Famer Jamie Burke with 51. Just one more than you. Pretty special to have Jamie present you with your 50th jersey. Did she whisper anything to you like, don't you dare and try and go for 52 or something like that?
Yeah, something like that. No, I didn't know that Jamie was coming to present the jersey. So when I kind of showed up for our jersey presentation and saw her there, I got really excited and a bit sentimental as well. It was really special for Jamie to present that. And then after the game against Ireland, she presented me with my new cap that has the 50th engraving on it, which is really special. Yeah, I'm a bit lost for words with it, to be fair. It all felt overwhelming. I guess it's taking me 11 years to hit 50. So I got my first cap in 2013, and then with the pandemic and some coach changing and some injuries, it's just taking me obviously a bit of time to hit 50. But I think what's really cool to see is it won't take that long for a lot of the girls on the team now to hit that number. And, hopefully if I get the opportunity next year, to maybe become the most capped Eagle, I won't be that for long. I think some of the girls are going to really start getting a lot of cap numbers under their belt and representing longer, which is really amazing for USA Rugby. And I think that's what, is a bit of an honor to potentially hold that for a bit, but also very exciting to see how fast that can also get chased, because that's what you want within women's rugby, especially within the USA.
Let me jump in real quick, Fitzy. During the Ireland match, Hope, a good friend of mine who's in Dublin, Irish, he messaged me a couple of times, says, "Holy cow, that number 1, who is that?" I said, "Well, that's a young player in the team. She's not old by any means. She's just, I always say the older. Oh, I'm sorry, older. You're not old. The older players, they may have lost a step, but not you. They may have lost a step, but they just know the game better than the younger players. And I feel like players like that get to places quicker because of expertise. So, I mean, do you feel that way right now? Do you feel like the game, I'm not going to say easier, but you feel like those little things are just like, in the back of your mind, you just do it now. You know what I mean? It's just...
Yeah, definitely in some ways. I think it's hard because I think in the last 11 years, I think the game's gotten more skillful. It's gotten more physical. It's gotten faster for sure. That's probably maybe the biggest change. Yeah, and so I think it's like hard because you have to physically keep up with the demands of the game. But then in some regards, it's easier because you can almost anticipate maybe things a bit more or less, and sometimes you get it wrong still. But I know a lot in the scrum, they always say a bit with age comes the experience and the technical abilities and stuff. I think, my knees struggle a bit in the scrum, so my form isn't as I would want it to be, which I'm fixing, it takes a bit of time. And you're always learning and growing. But I think, it's easier to maybe get yourself out of a sticky situation than when you're young and you're just using your pure strength and athleticism a bit more as a younger prop.
Well, let's talk a little bit about WXV1, which just finished up. Let's start with the most recent match there against Ireland. They'd just been, the Black Ferns, a couple of games before with big win for them. They've really been a program that's really been turning things around. Women's Eagles, you guys are ahead at the half. Couple of maybe some ill-disciplined stuff in the last 10 to 15 minutes. Game just got away from y'all a little bit. Ireland pulled ahead for the win. Certainly had to be frustrating for your group, but kind of what were your thoughts? What was the mood in the locker room immediately after the game? Or what did you guys talk about immediately after the game?
Yeah, I think frustrating is maybe an understatement for that game. Credit to Ireland, first of all. Like you said, they did amazing at the tournament and they've been growing. So it's been really cool to see their growth as a country, and they're full time as well, so they're training a lot more. So you can kind of just start to see the teams and how well and fast they're progressing within full time programs. But yes, it was frustrating nonetheless, because I think that was the game where we shot our own selves in the foot to lose that game. Ireland played well, but we were also playing well in the first half. So I think there was a lot of disappointment for sure. And then we recapped it a bit the next day. But yeah, it's just discipline, isn't it? It was discipline and our own ability to kind of play in the right parts of the pitch, our own ability to keep the ball, with just ball security, trying to do a bit too much with it at times. So just starting to understand the balance of, it's exciting when we line break, but now that we're line breaking, which is amazing, we need to support the line break a bit more. So there's just a lot of almost little tweaks, if you kind of think about it, that make a huge difference. And it's exciting because, like I said, now we're line breaking. We're creating those gaps, we're creating those holes, we're breaking the line, but now we need to do that next job, which is really support those kind of things. And then hone in a bit on the discipline and probably play in the right parts of the pitch. This is probably maybe the three biggest things from maybe the whole tournament to kind of take away. But I think the vibe amongst myself, and I think a lot of my fellow teammates would say the same thing, is, the tournament as a whole, and I think the Ireland game encompassed that, was there's a lot of pride and excitement amongst the group from where we're heading, but then there's a lot of disappointment because it's no longer good enough for us to compete with the top teams in the world. Like we are becoming one of the best teams in the world, but it's just a bit time that we start making that statement with finishing off those games and getting wins. So we're happy that we're competing now, and we're showing up for teams to no longer like look down on or underestimate us, I guess is the right way to put it. But now we're showing up and competing. But what's exciting about that is it's just not good enough anymore. And I'm excited to honestly see where we go next year with Pac-4 and then obviously World Cup. And a bit of prep time before World Cup will be good for us as well.
Looking at new additions to the squad, and these aren't necessarily new additions to USA. I'm talking about maybe the sevens players additions with Chris Thomas, Chetta, and Alev Kelter as well. Alev is just such a beast with ball in hand, and she's one of the players I think I'd be scared to tackle. Actually, I'd be scared to tackle anybody, but on that team. But how do you feel? Do you think maybe the influx of some of those players and the way Sione's put them into on the field, is that helping with the speed of the team? Because I really do feel the attack speed is picked up, the ball out of the set plays is picked up, and then the defensive line speed has picked up. So you think those three players are helping? Is it because of them? It's not just because of them. Sorry. I don't know where I'm going with this. It's like a John Fitzpatrick question. The addition of these players, we talk about having them on the team and how it helps to have their speed and like I said, Alev's physicality at the center.
Yeah, absolutely. It's been amazing to have some of the sevens girls come in. A lot of them have been there in the past. Obviously coming in and out around sevens and 15s timeframes and whatnot. I think what makes them fit into the program a lot is they're very willing to learn and buy into our culture and what we're building, because obviously it's not just what we're building on pitch, it's what we're building off of it. Is probably equally important to the performances that we want to give out and show. So that's really exciting to have them in it. But yeah, definitely their skill, their abilities, they really showed that, and I think they definitely made our team better, which is exciting. And it's just continuing to grow and work together now over the next year to try to solidify, roles and positions and attack patterns, defensive patterns, etc.
I know you went through a couple different coaches over there the last couple of years too, so it helps to have someone that's been here for a little while. Let's talk about the front row specifically, Hope. Well, you got to be excited about the future. You mentioned earlier about there's going to be other 50 caps down the road, but specifically front row players. Sagapola's one who's playing great. Talk about that excitement of having these young people behind. And also, are the young ones, do they drive you to play better or more, let's say?
Yeah, I'll answer the latter question first. Yeah, absolutely they do. No, they definitely drive me and push me. They're very good players. They're very good scrimmagers already as well. And they're very talented. Like, May's impact on the game is immense. To have someone, who can either start the game like that or come off the bench like that is amazing to have it so young. And, like I said, I think I actually can't say how many caps she has, but she has quite a few already, and she's just started, which is what I was hinting at is, she's going to be, an amazing player, and she already is an amazing player, but her growth level is insane to me. So I feel a bit more honored to be a part of her journey. Like, Olivia has been with us as well, getting caps in and out. But her abilities as well already is amazing. So to see and be able to be a part of their journey now, I just feel very honored to be able to give any knowledge I have, any experience I have, tips. I think we push each other, we challenge each other. We talked a lot about our scrum and our set piece, and it's an area we really want to keep working on, and an area that I don't think yet we've really shown our abilities, and I think it's an area that we can definitely grow in before World Cup. But what's really exciting from the start of last year is when we would pack down, one side would completely take over the other side. Like, wasn't much competition there. It was just straight over. Whereas now, like, both sides are going at both sides, and what you would think would be maybe a starting front row with maybe the secondary front row is beating the starting front row. And that's what's exciting, is that inter-squad competition is all very healthy and it's good, and it's going to keep creating us to push each other and be the best, scrimmagers that we can be, but the best team that we can be in the end.
Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
And back to the show.
Let's jump ahead to Rugby World Cup 2025. Should you make the squad, of course, nothing is guaranteed, but, I'll speak for myself and Bill. Feel pretty good that you're safe that to make the team. You and joined a notable list of players who would have played in 4 Rugby World Cups. You talked a little bit about it there, just a little bit. You hinted at it about, mentoring some of the younger players. But have you thought about kind of your impact that you've made in your career so far?
I don't know. That's a hard question.
Yeah. That's a Bill question. See, I like that rambling question. I'll ask hard questions.
Yes.
It's always been a goal of mine to, and I've said this before, I probably say almost maybe too much, but to make the jersey better, and to leave it in a better place. So a big goal of mine is to prep the next people that are coming after me so that they're ready and they're the next ones to kind of help lead the team, to help drive standards, etc. That's really important to me. I guess I would just say I kind of try to just do my best, and I hope I make a positive impact and influence on the people around me. I want to be a good person, and kind of share as much as I can. But yeah, I think it would be, cool to hit 4 World Cups if that's an opportunity next year. It would be amazing. But really, I'm quite focused on, the game and the performance there, because we have the abilities, to make it to the quarterfinals and the semifinals, and hopefully get a medal. If we keep growing at the rate that we're growing, I'm very confident and I have a lot of belief in this team, and I have a lot of excitement around where we can be and how we can actually perform. So I think that's probably a bit more of the exciting part for me is, just being and spending time with the squad, because I don't know how much longer I'm going to be playing internationally or in general, see how long the body holds up for. But just kind of try to enjoy each moment, and help everyone as I can, and obviously still learning as well.
So you probably saw this question coming up next. World Rugby Hall of Famer Patty Jervey, she played in 5 Rugby World Cups.
Only 5,
including the last one, I think, when she was 42. So the question here is: so can we count you in for one?
No.
What position did she play?
Yeah, right.
Probably.
Probably not. I'm gonna take it year by year, but I wouldn't get your hopes up.
No. So obviously, the next question, of course, is there's a big event happening here in the U.S. in 2033. That's only 9 years away. It'd be, if I'm doing the math right, like 39, 40.
No.
Okay.
Come off the bench last 5 minutes.
Maybe.
Of the game.
So maybe.
Put me in coach by bullets.
All right, so let's talk about 25. Hope. The draw is tomorrow. The team has moved from band 3 to band 2 to band 3. I'm still kind of like, I don't know what a lot of that stuff means. I'm still figuring it out. Potentially in the pool of death. Do you care at all about that? Or you're kind of, there's got to be some, okay, I hope we're in a little bit easier pool. I don't know.
Well, yeah, I think you always hope for a good pool that maybe playing against opposition that might suit you a bit more, or opposition where your strengths might outweigh their strengths, etc. So, of course, there's always hope for a really good pool. The goal is to win and win games and get to quarterfinals, semifinals, finals, basically. So, in order to do that, you have to be one of the best teams there. So, if that's the case, then hopefully we can beat any team that comes at us, kind of thing. But yeah, I think we're just focused a bit more on the rugby, and we'll we'll cross whatever bridge is put our way once we get the pools out and stuff. But
Well, any word from Sione when the team could meet for camp again? And also, you did mention something of potentially some more matches on USA soil coming up. That's got to be exciting as well.
yeah, I think that's like rumors and talk and hopes of things are still being finalized, etc. But I think we basically, after the PWR ends, I think there's a bit of a break period or right before Pac 4. So I think there's hope that we get maybe a test match in potentially before that. And then we'll have Pac 4. And then hopefully we get a few test matches before World Cup as well then. So obviously Pac 4 and World Cup will be our 2 big tournaments next year. And then hopefully some prep games before that. But yeah, there was talk to us hopefully around some home games that are still being finalized, which would be amazing to play at home.
Yeah.
Are preparations different for like a Rugby World Cup and say, like a Pac 4 or your typical chess match?
Yeah, it is maybe a bit different, and maybe it's a bit different because we're getting staff in place, and we have a semi-confirmed, I guess, staff that's been with us for this last year, and hopefully is going to continue with us through next year because that consistency is important. Sione's already told us that's a goal of his, is to keep consistency and get that to us, because that's all we're going to get better, whereas we're always learning new things. You can't keep growing within that. So yeah, we have a lot more I think remote things leading into camps and stuff. So for example, in Pac 4 and then even WXV, we heavy loaded the first part of those tours, so then we could deload it a bit towards the end, and it's only because we didn't have the time to meet. A lot of the countries we were playing that are full time had met for 6+ weeks in camps. So they were already implementing things, they're already building their fitness levels, etc. Whereas we had 1 week, which was amazing because we had a week, so we don't always get that. But so our prep looks a bit different. Whereas hopefully if we get a bit of time together before World Cup, then leading into those games, the prep will be a bit different. It'll be way more focused on feeling fresh and ready for those games versus, having to get things covered, content covered, because we just don't have the time to do that. So yeah, the prep should be different, ideally.
All right, here's a really, really important question, Hope, or a two-parter. One, can you dance? And if you were offered a spot in Dancing with the Stars, would you do it?
No and no. Well,
are you watching it all?
I like to boogie. I like to get a little jam in. I'm not really good, but I do like to fun dance. Just for fun, for people to laugh at, mainly for people's enjoyment. And no, I wouldn't, because I can't actually dance, and I don't really like to be on TV and things like that. So,
well,
I'm shy. I don't have that personality.
Oh yeah. I did watch last night. I haven't watched it a lot, and Alona did move on, and whoever was available, and whoever was available from the 7 squad was in the crowd, so it was great to see them supporting her in last night's show.
Yeah, I saw a lot of my friends' social medias and stuff. It looked amazing, and I've been watching and supporting. She's been doing absolutely amazing, so it's cool. It's cool that she can do that.
Yeah, I know it. And who knows? Maybe she'll earn a spot on the 15 size, like she's kind of hinting at, going forward. And obviously she's earned a spot, so it'd be good to have her out there. Okay, let's talk about PWR and Exeter Chiefs for a bit. We won't hold you too much longer. And this is, excuse me. This is about some of your Eagles teammates. We had Katie Benson on not long ago, and she shared how much fun she has competing against her USA teammates in the PWR. But she also says she's not the chattiest person on the field, but when she plays Exeter, something about it causes her to get chatty. Are your thoughts on that, and have you given it back to her?
Yeah, I'm not the most chatty person on the pitch either. I keep to myself. I don't want any drama. I just want to play the game. That's all I want, is good, playing fun. But yeah, something about when I play Benny, it just makes me chat a bit. Like, for example, we were in a scrum and I asked her, because she was playing tight end, I was playing loose end. I said, Benny, you bring your beepers. She's like, what? It's like, did you bring your beepers? I was like, when you go backwards, beep, beep, beep.
Wow.
And then I was scrumming against May last season as well. And I don't know, it's just something about when you play in USA team league.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, May, what's your favorite shape? And she's like, what? I was like, your favorite shape? I said, is it square? Because you better be it in the scrum. And then we then hit, and she was so off, and I won the scrum. I said, don't let me get to you, buddy. We laughed, and we shook it off a bit. So, yeah, but that's all I get. I get my two little prop friends, but other than that, no, I don't chat. I'm not a chatter.
Yeah.
So.
Well, she did. Well, Katie, or Benny as you call her, she did share that Gabby gets a little chatty out there. Apparently, yeah, that's what she said. She was saying Gabby's got a couple of good one-liners and stuff out there.
This chatty, Georgie. She can talk about her own teammates. Her own teammates are a bit chatty out there.
Well, I guess
love a bit.
Go ahead.
Chat with friends.
Yeah, of course. Well, let's talk about the Chiefs briefly here for a second. 2-2 early in the season, or I'm sorry, 2-1 early in the season, round 3 this weekend. Are you available to play this weekend, or when would you be first available?
I will not be playing this weekend. I'm having a bit of a deload this week to recover, and then I'll be back in with things next week. So,
yeah, there's some good heavy matchups this year. I mean, the PWR has always been strong. But there's been some great looking matchups going on this weekend, this year, especially some really big, like Sail Sharks against, let's say, Loughborough, like tons of U.S. Eagles in those teams. So, and very exciting to see a lot of these games actually on tube. I'm just commentary there. I'm asking a question.
Yeah.
But Hope, let's talk about back here, WER, Women's Elite Rugby. I know Jenny Kronish has declared her eligibility for competition in 2025. That's weird things going on my computer. You're under contract with Exeter Chiefs. Have you thought much about WER for the future, or have they reached out to you about it?
I've been thinking about taking 1 year at a time, and last year I signed a 2-year contract, so that puts me here again this year, obviously, and then my contract will end after this year, and then obviously, after this season, so technically 2025 next year. And then obviously, my goal is to make the World Cup team, and then kind of said after that, I was just going to evaluate, where's my body at, where's a lot of things at, just in terms of, am I going to keep playing? Where do I want to play club? Do I want, those sorts of things? Do I even want to keep playing? Well, I guess it's not, do I want to? Of course I want to. Might have to get dragged off the pitch one day. My heart is forever there. No, but yeah, I just kind of said I was going to take it 1 year at a time and see. So I've not thought much about next season yet. Just about the goal of, I guess, hitting World Cup, and then we'll see what happens. Hopefully after that.
And what about? It's probably a little early for this too. Have you thought about post-career plans? Post-playing career plans?
Man, that is a triggering question. Why did you ask me that?
Dancing.
Glad you asked that, Will.
Yeah, dancing. Exactly. You're very right. I was going to start taking up my dance career.
Yeah, there you go.
Sure. Become a famous TV star or something. Yeah.
It's easy.
I don't know. My degree's in education, teaching.
Oh.
I love working with kids. I don't know if I'd want to go back to teaching. Possibly coaching. Like I said, I like coaching, I like teaching, I like working with kids, so probably something in that area. And yes, I need to start thinking about that a bit more now.
Now we scared you now.
You'll be
anxious all day. Like, what do I do next?
I think I'll get to go to bed soon. I'm so anxious already.
All right, lastly.
Hope you have 5 Rugby World Cups to play in, okay?
That's right. You got plenty of time.
No.
All right, last thing. We got to ask this question because, I mean, the 50 caps is an amazing accomplishment. We got to ask you about your legacy. When the day does come, you hang up your boots. What do you want your teammates, coaches, opponents, fans to say about you? What kind of legacy you want to leave for them?
Asking all the hard questions.
Should have sent this ahead of time.
Yeah, for real.
Take your time.
I don't know. I think a legacy that I would want to leave is probably where people knew how much I cared. Knew how much I cared about my teammates and their successes, how much I care about my performance in my own game, how much I care about the growth of women's rugby and the growth of especially USA Rugby. I probably am someone that maybe cares probably too much, if that's a thing. I care so much I cry a lot about things. I'm sensitive, as you probably can tell. A lot of props are very sensitive people. Not all, but a lot. But yeah, I guess I work. I would like to think I work really hard, and I care a lot about being the best player that I can be, the best teammate I can be, and helping grow the team and the jersey a lot. It's probably part of the legacy I would want to leave.
One last thing for you, one last comment. Before the game against Ireland, they made you walk out there by yourself. You looked like you're like, I don't want to do it. Why am I out here? Why'd you send me out here?
It's awkward. I'd rather be walking with my teammates than walking by myself, you know? Yeah, I know. The USA Rugby posted a video of me walking. Like, what am I doing in my face? Like, I was so
You're kind of like,
I'm like blinking my eyes, licking my lips. I'm like, oh gosh, like, what am I doing? But it was really nice because I was walking out of it, and then I looked over at the sidelines and I saw some of my staff. I saw Mel, our forwards coach, and I saw her grinning ear to ear, and that just made me smile big because, Mel's just someone I really look up to, and she's really helped grow our program immensely, especially within our forward pack, and how we see ourselves as people and our confidence, but then obviously our skill and the expectation to perform and execute when it's time. And then her belief. So yeah, I saw her face grinning, and that just made me smile because it was just where I felt pride because obviously she was a legend in her own time back in the day. She watches.
We'll just post that as the tease. Fitzy, any last things for Hope?
No, I mean that was fantastic. Got to end it on something like that.
Nothing. Let's make her cry. No, I was kidding.
Oh my gosh, I cried.
You're asking all the ones.
Stop crying the last 2 days. I actually have tears. Right. I'm welling up a bit, so I think you could, but don't, please. I've cried so much.
All right, no, that's all right. We won't do that to you. No, don't do it, Fitzy. All right, Hope. It's always a pleasure talking to you and anyone from the team, but you're a special player out there, and we cannot wait to watch you get the 65 caps. We'll have you on again then. But hey, good luck with Exeter Chiefs this season coming up, and we can't wait to see you back in the USA uniform.
Oh, thank you very much. Thanks for your time, and thanks for carrying and growing the game. So.
Anytime. All right, we'll chat again soon. Take care.
Yes, thank you.
Bye-bye. Oh yeah, it's great to talk to them. There's Hope and all of them. It's so much fun to get them on the show, and they appreciate being on the show too. So it was really good to grab her. Obviously tired. She looks like she obviously just got off a flight, a long flight from the United States, and we were completely honored that we were able to get her on, considering how tired she is and all that stuff. But yeah, good stuff, Fitzy.
If I could editorialize for one moment here, she brought up the growth, the progress of Ireland quickly in the last year. Yeah, write this down.
Yeah.
It just goes to show when there's funding and there's money and you funnel it into a full-time professional environment. Not to say that the women's Eagles are, but when the players are on full-time contracts, they don't have to worry about the careers, which they have to put on hold for all this.
Yep.
If there's funding there, if it's full-time contracts, look what happens. Just saying.
And it really shows in the women's game. It really shows. Yeah, it really shows in women's game because you see, like you said, like Ireland, all them, New Zealand. You know, it was a point when USA was the best in the world, and that was when there were no professional women's teams. I don't even think New Zealand even had a team then. But then you get the influx of money, you get the professional contracts going, and they play together all the time. Like she said, they maybe get a week together before a match, and it's a shame. And the others, and Sione mentioned also, and we had it on. He's on a lot. I mean, they play.
Well, that's the thing too. Like Hope's 50th cap, like her number should be in the 70s or 80s, right? And I get it. There was a couple of years of COVID, right? That shortened stuff. You know, that shortchanged her a couple of years of games. But there are, and I'm not trying to put this all on USA Rugby. I get there's a lot of stuff going on, but like her 50, it shouldn't have taken her 11 years to get to 50. She should be in the 70s, 80s at this point. You know, approaching 100. But yeah. So.
You know, some of the most caps and all of rugby, men's rugby included, there's a lot of props in that like top 10 list, which really amazes me because that seems like a position that maybe 30 would be tops, considering just that impact and everything else out there and how much I hated that position.
But you want the seasoned players who have been in it and understand it and know it, right?
Yeah.
That you don't get from like a 23, 24. It's just, you know, maybe physically they're enough fresher. What you need the seasoned veterans who have been in it for 10 plus years who can really, you know, put the beepers on people.
The beepers, yes. Awareness. All right, man. Good stuff. If you missed it, we just had Hope Rogers on the show, and you can listen to the podcast replay dropping on Thursdays. Thank you for tuning, everybody. Have a great today, tomorrow, and the rest of the week. Cheers.
This podcast is part of the Sports Social Podcast Network.